Let's see if I'm doing this right. I don't even know if anybody's on. Okay. I want to hear that. Wonder if I'm echoing. Can anybody hear me? Control room. Camera. Okay. Chat group. Ah, okay. Thing I need to do here. Turn off my sound on my. Oh, okay. There we go. Well, Sam's a big guy, but he's really a heavy guy, and you know, I'm amazed at what he can do. I mean, it's pretty incredible how much he can. Um, some of the things that he's shown me, and he hadn't done it for a long time, and I'm like, wow, that's some really great stuff. Um, Me, I've always been kind of in and out, but over last year, I really kind of got really back into it. I was playing more games, and it seemed like the more charities I figured that were popping up, I was painting and painting and painting, and it was, oh my God, Tina, how are you? The more I was painting, it seemed the more, you know, I tried to find ways to raise money with it. So now it's kind of weird thing with the channel because this originally just started out and to just go from the very beginning, I had an iPad and I was building this thing for the Jack Bassel Memorial, and it was the Death Star, and this thing was enormous. It was 4 foot. Oh God, it was 4 foot by 4 foot by, I think it was 4 foot by 4.5 foot, because I would be able to split the thing and put the little trench in the middle. And if you go back to the very first videos, I mean, it was me just filming that. And I said, oh, this would be cool on YouTube. And then I said, you know, why don't I just start doing more and more projects? And of course, I brought that to the Dice Tower Con, and I was praying that somebody would buy it, and somebody did buy it. And from there, it's just been one big thing going on and on. Let's see. Pete, it's 1 o'clock there. I hope you don't have to go to work tomorrow. I'm glad you're looking forward to this. Hey, Rob, can you tell us more about your job, or because it's Army related, you cannot? I cannot say anything about my job and what I do. I hope one day to retire from such a very tough job. Joe, I already answered the thing about Sam and I. Sam and I, we seem to be doing pretty good with it. I think it's tough for him more or less because, you know, all the stuff that Tom, they have expectations and that they have to meet. So this segment, I try to take as much off Sam as I can, and you know, so far it's worked. You know, we're taking a little break over Christmas. Excuse me. I have not been feeling very well the last couple of days, and my wife's ready to kill me. What game got me into the hobby? Wow. Let's see. I think I have it right here. It was actually Blood Bowl. Yes, I do. I have it right here. It was the first game my wife ever got me. You know something? That's the first game that kind of got me rolling into the games. The very first game I ever played was over a friend's house, and we were playing. Oh, it was 1776. That's what it was. It was a Milton Bradley game, and one side would be the Americans, and the other would be the British, and the British were more powerful. And you had these little discs, and a little guy would be the commanders on each one, and George Washington would be on all these discs, and you would roll dice against each other, and whoever won, you would lose one unit of your army, and it was just, it was always back and forth. Oh, excuse me. The other game was Midway. It was another Milton Bradley game. It was really cool because you had these aircraft carriers and you had ships on there, and each ship had a torpedo. And on the aircraft carrier, you had 2 extra torpedoes, so your plane could come back and go on there. So you would make a run, dump your torpedo, and then fly back. But you would have these dog fights, and underneath the ships was a number from 1 to 5 or something like that, and you would have to compare, and that's how you would lose airplanes. So then you would gain air superiority. It was such a fun, simple game. I really loved it. Tina, I miss talking to you a lot. I'm glad you're on here. Hope everything's going well with your studies. Audio's good? Good, because I figured out that I can't keep the camera on the laptop. Catan was your first game. That was a great game. After today, I now have 1,800 Game Workshop Lord of the Ring minis. When when I think about painting, I just want to fall asleep. Joe, let me tell you what you do when you have a lot of things like that, because I have a couple of projects like that. Um, I've actually stretched myself so thin because it's really something. How can I put this? It's very difficult to just see so many people suffering. I go on this YouTube a lot, when I get a little break at work or something, because I'm able to use YouTube. It's one of the few things I can go on. And I'll just look around and just see so much heartbreak. And, you want to hug everybody, you want to save everybody, but you can't. And I think I stretch myself too thin. And Tina, you and I were talking about this in a letter, actually. And I do need to kind of back up, but then, all the people that suffer and need things, all right, so it's hard on me. So it stretches me a little thin. Compared to what they go through, I think I'll keep on stretching myself thin. The only thing that's been slowing me down a little bit lately is I haven't been feeling well. But there's been a couple projects where I've had like 500-600 miniatures, and I find the only way that I can get them done is to break them up into groups and work on that group and not think about the other 475. Maybe just take 25, and then you're done with those. Then you grab another 25. Try to find the things that you don't want to paint first, get those out of the way, because then you keep on looking at the stuff that you want to paint, and it helps you get to the things that you want to paint because you want to be done with the things that you don't want to paint. For me, that's the way it works. Let's see. How many games do I own? I would have to say, just board games? I would say I own, it's got to be over 500. And that's not even counting the miniature games. I mean, this closet over here is, I wish I could turn the camera, but I'm so afraid to. I am going to try to do a few things and get a better camera and do a couple things. Let me see here. But I've got miniatures beyond human belief and miniature games underneath this table that are just insane. Spy. Your audio is good. Catan. Catan's a great game. The kids and I still play that. We love that game. Matter of fact, when my son, he was, oh God, I want to say he was 6. We used to play the card game. Oh, he gets so mad because I never let him win. Because I don't believe in participation trophies or halftime handing out orange slices. You know, my father was a very, very tough, big man, and he was a cop, and he he always drove us, you know, to be the best we can be, the best person that we can be. And I think I learned a lot from that. And I just see a lot of kids taught, oh, well, you know, you all win. Well, no, you got to learn that winning is something special. You're going to lose a lot. And I think I said this a few times. I take it from a Rocky movie. It's it's not about how hard you can hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep going forward and drive yourself to win. So there you go. After today, Milton Bradley did some great games. Space Crusader, that was a great game. Let's see. Paul, I got a mission. Paint Infantry Military Order. Wow. Lord of the Rings is dead. They still have the license. Games Workshop still has the license for that. Uh, hmm. Games Workshop still has the license with it, but Games Workshop is going through a weird thing. And it was kind of funny because Sam was down at the board game convention. And, oh, which one is it? Board Game Geek convention. And the guy had come up to him, one of the bigwigs from Games Workshop, and said, "Hey, you know, I seen your videos, and I'm going to send you this new game and this, that, and the other." And I'm like, "No, I'm on that show too." No, I really wasn't. But the thing was is that he tried talking to him about, you know, the direction that they're going in, and it seems like they're going to go back to their specialist games. Lord of the Rings may die, but you know something? Those are really nice miniatures, and you know you don't have to follow those rules. You can. There are so many different variant of rules and stuff like that. Sometimes house-made rules are just as fun. If you have it in front of you, you can do anything with it. Don't do that. Okay. I give them away. Well, to people like Tina, who owns no no minis. Well, you tell me what you want, Tina, and I'll paint it for you and send it to you. How's that? Let's see. What else do we have here? LTR, Combat Hex figures are pre-painted, and I have lots of them. I do too. I have a box here somewhere. I bought everything. I even had the Sauron, and I started getting all the bigger figures. You know what I really liked from Lord of the Rings, and it was before all the movies came out. It was a card game from Iron Crown. God, I can't believe I remember that. God, I'm old. It was a card game from Iron Crown, and it was so neat because you would get your party together, and each card was like a map, and you had to go to different parts of the map and go all the way through, and it was hard. It was a hard game, but it was a lot of fun. Um, I really like that game, and I don't know why I got rid of it, but I just think nobody played it anymore. No, I still have it somewhere there. um, it was a lot of fun. We actually liked the hex game, but you know the little dials on the side were so cool because you can where you know you hardly needed anything. You had the dice. They just kind of went away from it. It was a shame. It was a good game. I'm trying to keep up with these questions. I have a problem with painting just 10 while sitting on my back end and picking up a brush. Yeah, well, it's hard. Just board games for now. I've got to get back into painting after watching Robert's channel. Well, thank you, Pete. You know, that's the whole thing. And the one thing I tried to do with this channel, you know, I hate keeping my mouth shut because usually I'm just a very honest but kind of blunt person. And I watch a lot of different channels, you know, just to see how different things are, how I'm different, or things like that. And I'm really surprised at how how people make their channels about them. And that's the last thing I've ever tried to do with this channel. I've tried to be engaging and let you see my family, especially during board game nights. Boy, I had to censor a couple of those videos. Boy, they get so mad at each other. It is the most ridiculous thing when we have the World Championship. We play 4 games. It's on a Saturday. We'll play 4 games. And I put them up here. But I think I've only gotten like 10, 15 views. Who wants to sit there for an hour and watch it? And I stopped taping them. We still play, but one person has a championship belt. And they get to do whatever they want with that belt. So all week, that's all they do. Tip, 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 tip to each other. You know, I'm the champion. And the other one starts arguing with that one. Well, you play a game that. So we play 4 games. We first place gets 1 point. First place gets, depending on how many people are playing. If there's 4 of us, 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1. So we total everything out, and then whoever has the most after the 4th game is the champion. And my God, it's brutal. But the thing I was getting to, see, I get off tangent because I can talk all day. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I can talk quite a bit. The thing is that I never tried to make the channel about me. I tried to make it about helping people, making a difference, and making people see that they can color their world through their eyes, and that it's easy. You know, picking up a brush is probably one of the most intimidating things, but when you pick it up and you just, the little things I try to show people, you know, I've gotten killed on the dice tower specifically by a couple of individuals, and I laugh because they don't realize it's painting miniatures 101. So when I tell you guys something simple, and I go, okay, go get these $5 brushes, go get these cheap paints, because you don't know if you're going to like what you're doing. If you like what you're doing, you're going to invest into the hobby and do more. But I try to teach people by, okay, if you don't like it, you didn't lose anything. There you go. Let's see. With many miniatures, I try to paint them in lots, trying the ones that use the same color so that it is a little easy. That's why I did the last. That's why I did the last video on board game. On Board Game Breakfast, and I picked out 4 games. As a matter of fact, do I have them here? Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. What I thought was an easy game to start with, and it was very funny that I got killed over this, was Mice and Mystics. And the simple reason is, and I'll show you, wow, I get to do all this live. You know, I'm thinking I'm going to get a better camera, a little bit better sound system at the first year. And I like to do some live playthroughs. The thing I like to do is have everybody involved and do this bad boy. Because I got a way to figure out how to do it. And I'm going to do the video. I'm going to get those painted up very soon. And that's going to be our first live playthrough. But getting back to it, I said this was an easy game. I mean, look, there's nothing very, very hard about that. It's pink tail, gray body, you know, silver sword. And this isn't finished by my standards, but the reason I did it so simply was to try to show people that this is something quick. You can find out if you really like what you're doing. Just simplify it. Of course, you can't see it on here that well. But then Captain Carry-On, that's his name. He's a guy that, what a joke. You know, I never understood a lot of people why. It always seems that the guy that talks about himself more is a guy that's unsure of himself or somebody that doesn't believe in themselves. And I can never figure that out. And I can go into a whole rant about that, but I won't. Forgive me if I keep drinking water. I'm not feeling very well. My wife's ready to kill me because I won't go to the doctor because I think they make you sicker. I went to Planet Smoothie, and I ended up getting a chocolate Elvis, and I had the worst cramps, and I have not felt any better since. And it's been about 2 days, and um, my whole left side is like killing me, and I just feel, phew, worn out. Let's see here. All right, let me scroll down. Oh wow, I'm way behind here. Sorry about that. No, Tina, you're awesome. I tried to choose skirmish war games. Less figures to paint. Skirmish war games are a lot of fun, and skirmish war games are so much easier. And it seems like the trend is that you're seeing a lot of board games that are starting to use more miniature. And Cool Mini or not are the kings of that lately. A lot of integration. So I think because the board game craze, and my theory on the board game craze, because I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent. So forgive me if I if I keep running my mouth a bit. Um, where's the fun? Anything on? I couldn't figure that one out. The thing I wanted to say is that how many kids are starting to get away from video games? Not totally, but you go out and you spend $60 for a video game, Call of Duty 37. Okay, you play for a week and you go, oh, all I did was give me a new gun this year, or it's a new map or something like that. So people are starting to gravitate someplace else because you're getting the same thing over and over and over again. It's just the same video games, and um, it just, I think that people are starting to discover board games because it's something different. It's something that they interact with people, and just like they do with a video game, but they're able to do more with it. There's different types of mechanics where if you're playing a first-person shooter, you're playing a first-person shooter, whether you're in space, whether you're button mashing. So I think you're starting to see a lot of that, and that's what's really bringing that back. But you're seeing, especially with skirmish games, that they're putting them like Dead Zone from Mantic. That's a perfect example, where they give you a 2x2 map, which is a board basically, and they're saying, okay, well, you can contain it all in this area. This is a good skirmish game. I like it a lot because you can contain everything. You make it simple. It's not a ton of rules where your head's going to fall off, and it keeps people, with short attention spans, especially, focused in. Okay, this is pretty easy. Let's do this again with a different army, or this or that, or different objectives. There's a lot of variety to it. Okay, let's see what else, because I'm sure I'm way behind on these things. All right, where's the fun? I'm not very fun, Paul. All right, it's not dead for me, and that's all that matters. GW? No, Joe, no. Lord of the Rings isn't dead, and they're going to keep on coming out with stuff. They have to. They have a contract all the way till next year, I believe. So you're going to get a lot of stuff. But you know something? That stuff's all going to go on sale, and people are going to dump it. And then you're going to be able to build some fantastic armies and do what you like. I like it. Cambridge. Questions. What are your top 5 games of 2015? I was going to save that for board game breakfast next week, but I'll tell you guys why not. Number 5 was King's Armory. I like this game. I like the fact that this was we had a lot of fun with it, a lot of variety with it. I thought it was just so much fun. That would come in at number 5. Number 4. Let me see. I would have to have played it. Number 4. It came out this year. Arcs, no, that was okay. You know what my number one game is? What was my favorite game? Oh, number four, I would have to say Temple of the Elemental Evil. The kids really like that. We played that quite a bit. Number three, um, Mistfall. They really like that. Number two, Armada. Armada, we had a blast with. It's hard to get them all involved in that one, though. No, I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take number two out because the expansion for Camel Cup was number two. My God, we play Camel Cup until we can't see. I don't know what it is about the game. And then my stupid son, if you go to the videos and listen to him go, make all the weird noises that he does. Oh my God, that kid's out of his mind. My number one game is Dawn of the Oculites. Ben Boersma from Australia, from Eagle Griffin Games. I paid $250 for that game, but you don't get $250 worth of game. You get about $1,000 worth of game in that box. The box has to weigh about 25 pounds. And I just think that game is just tremendous. You can develop your characters, and he put so much love into that game. And I praise this guy to no end. As a matter of fact, I have videos up there. If you get a chance, Dawn of the Oculites, I believe it's called exactly. We have so much fun with that game. We really do. And I'm really hoping that the list changes with this Dungeon Saga thing. I've been reading it, and it's really got me hooked in. And I'm telling you, I think it might be great. All right. I still play XCOM. Everybody plays question. XCOM. Robert, would love to play a game with you live. I would like to play with everybody live too, and Tina, especially you. You're so busy though. Now this is like Jumanji level. I don't get that. Okay. This captain guy is probably a low life troll. No, I don't want to blow this guy up too much, but it's kind of ridiculous because, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave this one alone. But if you ever look it up on YouTube, I think you'll get an idea of what I mean. Like I said, when you've got to show who you are, you're not sure who you are. There's a lesson, folks. Question, what's your biggest disappointment game of late? Oh, biggest disappointment. There was one that we were crushed about, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, and that's a great question. Flick 'em up. Flick 'em up. It's like the hottest game on the planet. It was sold out forever. I was able to get a copy in July. Couldn't wait to bring it home and play it because the kids like dexterity games. They really love dexterity games. One of their favorite games of all time is Battle. Oh, what the heck is it? Disc Duelers. Disc Duelers. They like having the discs on the table, and then they have the special ability cards, and then they flick it around. And they get annoyed with each other, and it's actually a lot of fun. We have a blast with it. I brought home Flick 'em Up, and they said, "Wow, this looks like it'll be really fun." And then we started playing it, and they went, "This is kind of boring." And I went, "Why?" Well, you gotta. There was nothing. They didn't feel anything behind the characters that they were playing. They go, "Okay, well, this is an outlaw, but does he get any special abilities or anything?" I go, "Well, go pick up the dynamite." Well, that's not that. I don't think we gave it a fair shake, but I can't get them to play it again. So I have to say, topic is now deranged. Then, what is the most the most was the first time I had asked for Blood Bowl, and my wife had to send away to Canada because it was sold out. And I wanted a couple teams with it, so she got it for me. And all my friends were playing it, and we started this league. And I remember it was the first time I was ever playing anything like this. And the teams become very personal to you because it's a very strategic game. It's going to play about an hour, hour and a half. And excuse me just for a second. And you know, somebody on your team can die. So you name these guys. They start getting abilities as you play each game. So we're playing like a league of 10 people, and we are playing. We played 10 games. That's what it was, and then we had the playoffs. And for me to get in the playoffs, I had to win the last game. And the game was tied 1-1, and I was down to my 8th turn. And I had to throw the ball. I had gotten a guy open because I was playing elves. And elves, you got to spread out all over the place because they're fast, but they're like silly putty. You know, they're just going to fall apart the minute they get hit. Where I was playing this orc team. And I had gotten my guy out of a bunch. I dodged out. I threw the ball all the way down the field. And I rolled a 6, which made the pass successful. Then I rolled another 6 and the guy caught it, and I ended up winning and getting into the playoffs. Of course, the next game I got crushed, but that game, one person was heartbroken, another person was elated, and oh god, that league, that 1-year league that we played, or whatever it was, 12 weeks or whatever it was we played, was the most fun I've ever had with a game, and that's why that game is so personal to me. Games Workshop supposedly is supposed to be coming back out with it, and believe me, I will get it, but I will never sell that copy. You can offer me all the money in the world, and I'll never sell that copy. Question: what is your most anticipated game for next year? I would have to say, and believe it or not, because I really don't like this game, but I think it's Black Plague Zombicide. I'd have to say that and Besieged, but that's a close second. But because it has that Dungeons and Dragon, I'm a sucker for a dragon crawl. I will dragon crawl forever. Things, they're just so much fun. And anytime now they want to do Zombicide in a dungeon, and it really looks like they fixed a lot of things that were annoying with Zombicide. So we'll see. Now that may end up on my most disappointed game of the year. Rebellion also looks kind of cool, and the word between Sam and I is the minute that comes out, we're going to try to get an early copy of it to paint it for the charity. All right, let's see. At any rate, these questions should last Robert through the next hour. You know, I don't shut up. I really don't. I'm sorry. I keep going on. And it's also the other way around. What about Golem Arcana? I was really excited about that game. But here's the problem that I have with Golem Arcana. I think my biggest problem with it is that you don't feel anything about the whole legacy of it. The game's fun. We've played it. We like it. I bought everything for it. I haven't bought the latest expansion because we're kind of like, I can't get behind this. Now, if they were to do this with like a dungeon saga type of thing, I think that would be like the coolest thing ever, because then you're going around dungeons with and doing all the stats and rolling the dice, and different things can happen, and walls and this, that, the other. You can't shoot through that wall. You know, I really think if they did it, you know, with elves and things like that, the whole lore, I just don't get behind. Or maybe if they did it with mechs or something like that. How cool would that be? if you did it kind of like a Battletech-y kind of thing. Golem Arcana would be awesome if you took that kind of thing and moved it into that realm. That would be just awesome. Question. What was my biggest surprise of 2015? Game-wise or just overall? Overall, that I had more than 200 subscribers. I mean, I can't fathom why people look in this channel. I mean, I just keep it very simple. You know, unfortunately I don't have all the tech that I should have, and I think I'm going to change that next year. 2016, I've got a lot of plans, and you know, I want to just make things better for you guys. Biggest surprise of 2015: Space Cadets away missions. I thought it was going to be like the cheesiest game on the planet, but it has that 50s sci-fi feel to it. I love what they did. I hope they come out with expansions for it. I really love that game. It is fun, easy. I was having so much fun with it. I was doing like stupid skits with the stupid stuff. I don't know if you guys ever seen that one. Hello, it's your daughter here. I am your #1 fan. Okay. Yeah, my #1 fan. You know why? Because you're going to Holiday Matsuri tomorrow, and you need more money so you can buy more things at your big convention. I'm always the #1 fan when I got to open up my pocketbook. Subscribe. Robert is catching up on the chat. We have to fire more questions. Yeah, see, I'm getting pretty good at this. Rob, which game I have to try with my 13-year-old daughter? Rum and Bones is not the answer. No, it definitely isn't the answer. I think that game's a little too brutal. What game would you have to try? You know what I would suggest? No, because then that game, I was going to say Arcadia Quest because it's very cutesy. Oh, Crowmaster. Crowmaster is a lot of fun. Just let her win. Let her have gallons of glory and just let her win. Of course, I wouldn't let any of my kids win, but that's just me. I think Crowmasters, because it's got that little anime feel. She would get behind it. She would think some of the girls are cutesy, and then, you know, some of the things that they could do. It's very easy, and I think that would be cool. Let's see here. Regarding painting, 3 tips not to put off talented beginners from painting board game miniatures. 3 tips not to put off talented beginners painting board game miniatures. 1, do not try to paint a whole bunch of figures at once. Take something easy and just keep your colors simple. I think that's one of the best things to do, is find a game that you really want to paint, take a list of them and say, okay, which one has the least amount of figures, which ones look the easiest, which ones can I just put basic colors on and get some confidence, and then be able to highlight from there. The third thing, make sure that you get a magnifying glass. The bigger the target. That is a tip that I suggest highly. As a matter of fact, my wife, because I can't see, got me this thing. I'm going to take off my hat for you. I mean, look at this. Probably messed up the camera right now. This thing has like 3 different things, but you don't realize how much easier it is to paint. How much easier it is to paint when you can magnify it, because then all of a sudden your hands become steady. The other thing I suggest is just making sure that you have a good work area where you can keep yourself balanced. You want to stay in front of your project. You want to stay centered, okay? Because you'd be surprised, just being off tilt a little bit, your hands will move. But if you stay centered and you're able to keep pretty much your body on the table, like I'm trying to show you here, that you'll be fine. Okay. Let's see here. Next question. Do you ever pledge for games on Kickstarter? Never. I will never, 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 never pledge for Kickstarter. I think the reason being is, number one, it's basically taking money and throwing it away. You may or may not get what you want. They never come in on the dates that they promised. I mean, if you look at a Kickstarter and it says, well, coming April 2015. Well, take this thing for instance, okay? This was supposed to be out August 2015. Everybody didn't get their stuff till November. There's always some kind of excuse. And I think that becomes frustrating. I also think I can use that money now. Like I can, if I saw something on Kickstarter, I go, oh my God, I can't wait for that to come out. Well, when it comes out retail, I'll get it then. Maybe I have to wait an extra month or two. Or maybe a lot of times, like a lot of certain games, I've noticed that they've come out the same time the Kickstarters have gotten their stuff. So what's the point? Backing it to make sure it gets going? Well, yeah, that I could see. But I'd rather take my money and do something different with it. And, like I said, I try to do a lot of things for a lot of different people. Try. Let's see here. Yeah, I agree with you there. Oh, wow. See, I'm trying to figure out how this works here. Okay. Question. Oh, Taco Cord. I would love it with mech. Yeah. Golem Arcana with mechs or even a dungeon thing. I'm telling you, that would be such a hit. Question. Doing all sorts of charities, how can you spot if it's not a scam or just trying to get free stuff out of you or other donors? I've been scammed. But I mean, if you feel the necessity to scam me a bit, then you really needed something. And maybe someday that person will pay it forward, because maybe they'll realize, listen, there are bad people in the world. I know. I deal with it all the time. But I think I've got to weigh the good and all the people that I've made a difference to, and all the people that I've helped that I know were legitimate. There are people that are in the box of goodness that I've checked on, and I know they're not. They didn't make a donation. And that's all I ever asked. I go, don't give the money to me. I don't want the money. I never asked for money, and that's one thing I will never do. A lot of people have said, well, why don't you have a Kickstarter or something like that? For what? So I can buy more toys, for more, all that equipment is mine. Yeah, I could have a better product, but something, that's my responsibility. If I want to be a YouTuber, it's my responsibility to give you the best quality show, the best quality equipment I can get, once I learn how to use it, and all that stuff. To ask everybody else and say, hey, I can do all this, and I can do all that, drives me crazy. Now, some people do it for a living. I understand. You take the Rodneys, you take the drive-through with Joel, and this is their life. This is how they pay their bills, so they can do this kind of thing. Tom, how he pays for Sam and Z and stuff like that. That I understand. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about the guy that goes out there and makes it about himself, and then asks you to support him so he can talk more about himself. No, if I want to talk about myself, you want to know what? I'm going to do it on my equipment. I'm going to do it on my dime. I'm going to do it. And every game here, nothing was given to me. That's another thing. I've had people write me and say, "Oh my God, I saw my game on your shelf. Can I have your address? I'll send you some stuff." And nobody's ever sent anything. And I don't worry about. Yeah, I know, Lily. I know. I need to let everybody put out more questions. But I never. Everything here I bought with my own money, and I don't mind that. I mean, I do very well in life. I'm very blessed. I've said this 1,000 times in the videos. I have a wonderful wife, wonderful children that want more money. I know you guys are out there watching this. I mean, I couldn't ask for better children than what I have, and I couldn't ask for a better wife. And the support I get to do the things I love, from oil paintings to um, painting figures to just playing games, just having games. I mean, I've got a ton of games that are unopened that probably will never be opened, but I have them. I have the benefit of having them. And if somebody needed it, I'd give it to them and just get another one. That's pretty much. Boy, I go off on tangents. I'm sorry. What is my favorite movie? This is a funny question because every time there's a movie that I like, I say that's my favorite movie of all time. And that drives my wife absolutely bonkers because I will continually go, well, that's my favorite, because I'll stop and watch the same movie over and over and over again. And she goes, we've seen this a million times. I know, but I just want to see the end. My favorite movie of all time. Oh boy, oh boy. 1954 Godzilla. That was very, I have to say that probably for me, the Japanese version of that was my favorite movie of all time. I mean, there's a million movies that I like, but that for me was very life-changing. My uncle, who was very dear to me, um, taught me all about Godzilla. Watching that movie, I remember being as a kid, watching on Channel 9, Creature Double Feature, and it was that movie, and I was just hooked. All I cared about was Godzilla. To this day, I've got millions of things of Godzilla, Gamera. My daughter, of course, always tells me Mothra's better, and then we get into this huge argument. But I'd have to say Godzilla. All right, okay, got a tip on that. This is crap. What is crap? This, yeah, probably. This is probably not a good live feed here. Okay, I mentioned rum and bows because I'm the one bragging about it in all your videos. I know. I've got to put up those other videos. I've just been so sick and so overwhelmed. This one guy that won the auction, he paid a lot of money for the Imperial Salt, Rum and Bones, and Forbidden Stars, and I had stopped time to get all three of those done. And fortunately, I did. Let's see. It got focal length of maybe 20 centimeters. Okay, I'm not sure what fall you're talking about there. I'm sorry. This is probably a dumb question. No questions are dumb. Believe me, I'm the one with all the dumb questions. But can you use a dark wash on dark miniatures? Yeah, yeah. You can take like a dark purple or something like that and have a black wash on it. Or you can have something, take like your silvers or your metallics and put a dark wash over it. Putting black on black really doesn't help anything. But a dark brown, you put a dark wash on that. All of a sudden it gets in those recesses and it gives you that shadow. So as long as it's not black on black, you're fine. All right, let's see if we can move this up a little bit. Oh, okay, that's how you do it. Okay. Not suitable to paint. Okay. Question. Which is the painted miniature you are most proud of? think it's my very first one. Yes, it's my very first. It's my very first one. I have to say, it was this. I'm going to hold it up there. It was this elf from Warhammer Quest, which was the first miniature I ever painted. There you go. I wanted to make sure that you can see it. There's a delay. Sorry. Wow, I have 11 people watching. I didn't think I'd have anybody. Thank you so much for staying up and watching, or wherever you're from. I really appreciate it. Okay. Okay, Rob, are you still receiving pictures of our painted miniatures to show them at your channel? Yes. I will be taking pictures as long as you want to send them. Send them to novaprime860@hotmail.com. Please send them to me. I am putting a huge video for Board Game Breakfast and extended. It's going to be my little Christmas present to you guys, to thank you guys so much for really bringing some color into my world. All right, I am going decent on painting miniatures, thanks to you partially. Thank you. That's I just, it all comes from within you guys. Remember that when you paint, it comes from within you. But I have a problem on highlighting steps. I seem not to know what spot and which color to use. Any advice? Highlighting. With blacks, when I want to highlight or dry brush, I always use a dark gray, just so I get enough of that highlight, and dry brush with it. Dry brushing is very, very helpful. Highlighting, you take the color and you can lighten it or darken it. Like, let's go back to this guy here. Okay. I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this. All right. Okay. If you look in between his cape here, okay, you see that it's green. But all I did was take a little bit of lighter green by just taking that same color and adding just a drop of white into that. I'm sorry, this is getting kind of kooky, and then just hit the top edges, always the high points. If you highlight the high points, you're going to find that's where you get the depth. So not only do you put a wash in there to get in the recesses to bring it out, but then you take the high spots and you lighten them so you get that whole structure. Hope that answers it. Then your paints, yes, mix them up, white and black. Sorry. Okay, I just joined, but I have to put my question at the beginning. I'm not sure if you answered it. What is your job? Don't answer if you already did. I can't tell you my job. Unfortunately, I can't do that. I would tell you it, but I can't. Be putting people in dangers. Rob, have you played Champions of Midgard yet? No, I've got it right here, though. Ugh. I've got it right here, and I am going to be doing that this weekend with the children. I'm going to put them to the test. Well, actually, the girls aren't going to be here because they're going to Holiday Matsuri, which is a huge cosplay convention. So there you go. So it's just me and the boy. So I think maybe we're going to play some two-player games, and maybe we'll tape them. I think we might give this a try. I'm not exactly sure. Dungeon Saga. Depends how I'm feeling. I haven't been feeling very well. Bob, I was thinking of black wash on dark gunmetal. Yes, very much so. You can always go light color to dark. Yes, very, very true, Powell. Okay. Rob, I'm going to paint a GWL Lord of the Rings Mordor troll and take a picture and send it to you somehow, probably after Christmas. Good. I always want to see your guys' work. I really do. I really love taking. Some of you have written some beautiful letters. Most of you have, and I just think it's fantastic. This is my way of painting weapons. First gunmetal, then wash with Abdad black. I can't say that. And then highlight with silver. Exactly, dead on, Powell. Is that just the way? I hope I'm not killing your name. Another spy. What does that mean? And wants to know what he does. What is my favorite dungeon crawler? Oh, that's easy. It's Warhammer Quest. That was the first one I ever had. I love that game. Probably the only game not in my collection is Hero Quest. I've always heard that. I mean, I can buy it for about $300, but for some reason I just nah. I really like Warhammer Quest. I hope they they redo it. I'm really hoping that they redo it because they're supposed to do it through Forge World. Start coming back out with all those games. If they do, I'm buying it. I have a copy. I love that game. That is one of the reasons why this Dungeon Saga is very, very personal to me, and the up and downs have really been a story and a half. I'm hoping this is the next Warhammer Quest. Okay. Are you going to post your top whenever of any genre? Um, yeah, I am. The end of the year, I'm going to put up a couple of videos. I'm going to do my top 20 games of 2015, which may change by the time I get there. And I'm probably going to do the 5 games I was most disappointed in. Love your channel, Rob. Please keep doing good work. Thank you for thanking me in your video. Oh, Ryan, thank you Ryan, thank you so much for helping Raph and Gretchen. For me, that meant a lot. I mean, when you have somebody that, if you, I think I've read that letter to you guys, and matter of fact, I'm meeting Sam. I think it is tomorrow or Saturday to get my Age of Sigmar stuff back, so I can send that out to him along with all your stuff. And I've got a few things under here for him that are unopened that I'm going to send to him. And I'm going to make sure they only live, I didn't even realize it, they only live a couple towns over. So they'll have it way before Christmas, which makes me feel great. And thanks for liking my channel. I'm just amazed that people like my channel. So you nailed it the first time you mentioned nightmare. Good, okay. Oh, I wanted to make sure I got it, Paul. We will be playing Dungeon Saga on the 29th. Looking forward to it. Now, I painted the minis and furniture. Pete, by the way, I didn't get a chance to reply to you. Fantastic job. You guys are going to see those Monday on Go to Board Game Breakfast. I'm going to try to fit everything in, and then you'll see Painting Miniatures 101, the little segment on the Dice Tower. But I'm going to do an extended. I'm going to make sure every picture that has ever been sent to me is put up, and I've been working on it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see. A couple more questions, and then we're going to call it a night. Rob, your one wish for a reprint and revised version of any game. That would be Warhammer Quest. Thanks for tonight. Really enjoyed it. Q&A. Might be a bit tired for work in the morning. Pete, get some rest. Merry Christmas. Good night. Infinity. About killing me. I need to wake up too, so night. All right, yeah. Why don't we just call it a night here? I've got a lot of plans. I'm going to try to do this once a week. I'll try to adjust the times also. Maybe we'll do it in the afternoon around 4, which would be 8 o'clock overseas. Try to make it a little bit better. I thought this was a good time but I'll change it up next time. So listen, thanks for watching this. Thanks for being a part of this. Once I get the camera and everything squared away and I watch this back and see what I can do and how I can adjust things and make things better, if anybody has any ideas, please send them to me. And what we'll do is we'll do some live gaming. I'll get the kids out here. You guys could be a part of the tournament, and you could watch the tournament. We were even thinking of doing that. Usually takes us about 3 or 4 hours, but hey, I could break it up and do a couple of videos that way. But thanks so much for coming. To, the people that came and showed up for this. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later this weekend. Thanks. We'll see you. Let's see if I can shut it off.